2026 Bruce Township's Board of Trustees meeting. Can we get a roll call, please?
Supervisor Philbrook.
Here.
Clerk Kraft.
Here.
Treasurer DeGiorgio.
Here.
Trustee Sakowicz. Here. Trustee Vincent.
Here. Everybody's here. Stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Has everybody had an opportunity to take a look at the consent agenda? Is there any changes, deletions, additions they'd like to make? One. I have one from the special meeting. It was held on December 22nd. Under new business and a moratorium on, well, two items we need to correct. One of them, we never mentioned anything about moratorium on data centers, so we need to scratch the data center part of it. The moratorium on
You
our,
mean the headline, the title? You're talking about right here?
yeah, so that, yeah, we can't target one specific use. So that was never, data center was technically never mentioned.
No, it's mentioned almost correctly in the body of that, that it was on all applications. This says C1, but it's L.
It's LOI,
Yeah.
it's gotta be.
It's
That's
LI and R,
IRO.
yeah.
And
So
there's a
that's what-
possibility I might have said C1 when Roxanne was taking the minutes, but it needs to be switched from C1 to LI, which is light industrial, and then we need to scratch the data center off the title.
Not data center, but moratorium. Or
Well,
do you want moratorium and not just moratorium?
Do you need to change the IROZ as well?
no, that's,
That's correct?
IRO zoning is correct.
Okay.
But just C1 is L1.
Right.
Should be LI.
LI,
LI.
light industrial.
any other changes? Not motion to approve the consent agenda as amended.
Second.
Second by Vincent. Can we get a roll call, please?
Sakowicz. Yes. DeGiorgio.
Yes.
Kraft.
Yes.
Vincent.
Yes.
Philbrook.
Yes. Motion carries. We'll move on to comments from the floor. So at this time, if there's anybody from the audience who would like to come up to the podium and speak, just state your name and your address, and we wish you keep your comments to a maximum of 3 minutes. Reese? Okay, we'll close the comments, and we'll move on to hearings and reviews. Item 5. We have Parks and Recreation's 2026-2027 budget, and also the Star Transportation's 2026-2027 budget. Clara Russell, or is it
Yeah.
from the Director of Parks and Rec?
Hi, I'm Claire Russell, the Director of Parks and Rec. We'll start with the Parks and Recreation budget for 2026-27. It is balanced at $3,383,512. On the right-hand side of the front cover, I should start. I did put 2 sheets up there that are replacements for what was in your packet. Our commission meeting was last Thursday, and the packets went out, so I needed to update this because there was a mathematical formula issue that we had found. So I will go through that, but just so you know, the new front cover is in front of you. With the balanced budget still being the same amount at $3,383,000. But on the right-hand side of the budget, there is a breakdown of our fund balance information, our assigned amounts for future development, restricted from donations, as well as our operating we set aside for April through December so that we have funds to move forward until the new tax collection comes in. And this year for capital developments, which we'll get to when we flip through this budget, but we've used, or the commission has approved that we use $342,920 for items that we hope to complete. And then we have an additional $147,000 that we will put into our general funds. Below that is a box that kind of shows you our banking and our current investments. Last year, I believe we started the investment committee, so we have been putting funds into the investments in a staggered ladder, which is very helpful and something that we've needed to do for years. So it's a very good thing. If we flip to, well, first I guess I should explain that the issue that we're coming to, again, with the mathematical error, was under the administrative benefits, which is on page 4. It left off, the line item was put in at $10,000 when it should have been $115,000, plus an additional, which is really bad, or a big difference in the budget. But there was also a $25,000 miscellaneous payout put in under there as well, which equals the $130,000 difference, which is on the front page. I don't know if I explained this well enough, but if you have questions about it. So really, the issue was under the administrative budget. There was money missing or that was not put into that area. So when we had to add to the capital development fund balance to make the balanced budget, if that if that makes sense.
So this is the new page 4.
The new page 4, yes, that I gave you. But if we flip back to page 2, this covers our revenue. It shows our millages as well as the LSCA, a breakdown of our millage and our voting history. Also gives the formula for anybody at home that's looking at the budget if they'd like to figure out their amount throughout the year. Page 3, we have administrative other revenue now. These are rentals that were in our program portion of our budget, but they were moved as an additional revenue stream into the millage or administrative part of our budget. This caused, obviously, a major shift when you move $100,000 from one department to another, but we are working through that. We did move some of items within our program budget, which really are purely operational, which is our staffing for our senior centers. So we were able to kind of move things back and forth to make the budget more stable or more rounded out. On page 4, this is where the issue occurred. The under benefits, under health insurance, when we were manipulating this, we're not exactly sure what happened, if it was a formula or what, but it was only at $10,000 and it should have been $115,000, plus the additional $25,000, and that's where the change happened on the front cover. This year, for salaries, for part-time and for full-time staff, we have added a 3% increase following COLA, or the cost of living was at 2.8%. On these pages, you will see that the 2026-27 numbers are on the left, but you can see what our current budget was, as well as our month-to-month we were at on January 9th. Moving to page 5, this is the operation budget that we had talked about. This is where some of the expenses from the program operating were moved into the millage administrative operating for this year due to the revenue being moved as well. Trying to think if there's anything really new on here. We did get a new registration program this year, which we're working through. We are getting accounting software. Ours is being eliminated this upcoming year, so it has been budgeted for. The other items we had as HR and payroll. We are with a payroll company now that is real-time and tracks our staff. So we have a lot of part-time staff who are swim instructors or what have you. So now they just punch into their phone and punch out. So, so far it's pretty streamlined. It's been a minute to get used to it, but it is working well. Moving on to page 6, these are improvements. So, and our capital development. So this year we do have them broken down, which the details of the improvements are on the next page, on page 7, if you want to look at that. But we split them up for Washington and then the Bruce area and then miscellaneous. So these are pinpointed items that we would like to do, but some of the funds could be moved from one area to the other. But for the most part, these are the items that we would like. We're looking at Washington's new Thorington Park, which is on 31 Mile Road, getting the parking lot there and possibly paths. So that's where the schoolhouse was moved. It is, all of these parks are going to be done in phases and hopefully with grants to help us through this. But we do know that we need the parking area, and paths would be great just for walking around so it can be used as we wait for the other phases to come through. At Gilcher, we're looking at the driveway as well as adding, right now, the pavilion is being built, and we are looking at adding permanent restrooms or some type of more permanent structure for the restrooms, and try it out at Gilcher, see how we like it, and start moving through the other parks to get those hardscape. When you build hardscape items like that, though, we have to look at how our staffing is, because we don't necessarily have anybody that works in the evening maintenance-wise to go lock up parks. We just haven't done that yet. So once we move into this phase, we're slowly looking at that and adding additional staff as we go for that. We also have some items at Washington Township Park, which would be the resurface of the walking path there, adding some cameras, some additional seating. Washington has a Hawks Acres, which is on Mound. It is a farm that has several out barns. 2 of the out barns we are looking at through grants to try to make them more multi-purpose so that we could have some indoor pickleball or multi-purpose area, gym type areas, and that would be one of them. It could also have special events and items like that, but they are actually working on a grant right now to for the that entire park. So it's really in the up and coming. So more details will be coming at you soon. The Memorial Park, we are now, that has went under our umbrella, so we are taking care of the Memorial Park in Washington. If you go to the middle section, you'll see Bruce with the sled hill, still working on that. Some small items, adding a storage box. We now have, I should announce that we have the synthetic ice rink. Make sure everybody come out and try it underneath the pavilion. It's very slippery when there's snow on it, so be very careful. But we will be having some pop-up ice events as well as sledding events this winter. The grant art program, we're trying to bring some art to the park, so. And the DIA actually is bringing different pieces to the Bruce and Romeo and Washington area, so watch for that this summer. This, however, is going to include music and festival-type park party for Bruce Township. And then for the Bruce Romeo Community Center, we are upgrading the interior bathrooms, hopefully adding cameras and monitors within inside, looking at our windows, as well as just some superficial interior office changes that need to be done, including the painting. The hallways are done right now. They look very good. It brought us up to a nice, I feel like, well, you know, any coat of paint makes something new. So we'll do the same for the offices. Bruce Crystal Diamonds, we're looking at the gravel and dust plan for that drive, as well as North Macomb Community Youth Soccer has soccer out there, and they would like to add lights. We're working to try to get permission from Macomb County to do this. This money would be matching money to add lights to the soccer fields as well as the 3 ball fields out there, which really gives you 3 additional fields. So we're hoping that that happens. Orchard Hills, we've got some drainage that just needs to be corrected, as well as some miscellaneous items, a tree plan, looking at all the trees at our parks. We need a new golf cart, or not a new golf cart, but a golf cart, so that we can, ours is on its last leg. So we'll be looking for a replacement for that. And then just decorations, adding an AED, some pin pads for our registration program, and then other miscellaneous items for the pool we'll be adding to. So altogether, the improvements that we have planned are $995,000 this year. We've really done or moved a lot with the developments that have been put on hold for the last 10 years. Or 5-10 years. So it seems like a lot of money, but it does need to be done, and I think it's really good that we are making accomplishments at all of our parks. When you go to the next page, it shows our maintenance. We have the Washington site where we have our activity center, and the Romeo site where we take care and maintain that for our programs. And then the next page shows all of the parks with a breakdown of how much it costs just to maintain the areas. So as you know, anytime you build something, it costs money to maintain it. So we are working on, actually one of our alternate for Bruce, Donna, is working on a capital plan so that we can really see what's happening and where we want to go in the future. When you go to page 10, these are the programs. This is the overall look at the programs, and then the pages behind that are a general breakdown of each. But, yeah, we're excited. Sorry about the mistakes, because I'm sure it was confusing when I was telling you about it. But, yeah, excited about 26, 27. Have any questions?
What about I didn't see another vehicle in there. Did you guys talk about it yet?
Nope, we've done our maintenance plan, and we're through. We have all 3 of our new vehicles. It will be purchased for the end of this year.
I see Richard still driving around in that.
Yes, I know.
I mean, I know he loves that thing, but
I know.
maybe we could put some paint over the rust or something.
Yeah, we can. So we've, yeah, well, we haven't received the 3rd truck yet. So pretty soon he'll love the new one too, so.
And also, I didn't see anything in the community center for that lift station. I know you guys took a pretty good hit on that this year.
We did.
So is there, and then you got you got a weekly and a monthly maintenance on that? Do you have that figured into your maintenance?
Yes, for this year, yeah. We're hoping that once it won't have to be weekly, that it will be further and far between once we figure out how the water is coming from the,
Well, that infiltration problem, you got just one thing.
yeah,
And then he did do an upgrade, or you're still going to do an upgrade?
to the
Go
electric.
from 220 to
Yes,
240?
that has been completed.
It has been?
Yeah. So that's underway, and once those things, we can ease back a little bit. Not that we want to stop looking at it, because, well, we know what happens when we do. So we'll continue the maintenance and upkeep with him, so.
Is the board already approved, your board has already approved this?
They
budget?
did, yes.
I don't have any other questions.
I had a couple questions as well.
Sure.
You mentioned a COLA and the raise. Are they together, or is it 3% based on the 2.8% COLA?
The 3% is based on the 2.8.
Okay. Then I had one about the permanent restrooms at Gilcher.
Gilcher.
Yeah, so is there already water and electric on that site?
So this year, we brought water over, or DPW brought water and sewer over to the area where the pavilion is. So,
And then will having permanent restrooms create a problem? Will they have to be unlocked and locked every
Yes.
day? Like at the end of the day?
Yeah.
Staff that is going to go out at night and lock them? And
Right, so that is the infrastructure part that we are looking at. Right now, we have some great retired workers who come in during the day, they work from 7 to noon, they do all our garbage, and do some odd jobs, and then they're gone. But we really kind of need more than that, and we know that. So we're looking at, as we add hardscape items like that, we are going to need additional maintenance staff, starting out with permanent part-time who would work in the evening, but we're working on that this year, so.
okay. I have no more questions.
I make a motion to accept and receive the budget as presented.
Support.
For 2026 Parks and Rec.
I have to recuse myself because my husband works for Clara.
Oh, yeah. Jeez, I forgot.
Support by DeGiorgio. Can we get a roll call, please? We need to
Vincent?
do them separate, the Parks and Rec. We'll do Star separately, Claire.
Okay.
Vincent?
Yes.
Sockowitz?
Yes.
DeGiorgio?
Yes.
And Philbrook.
Yes, motion carries. All right, Claire.
Okay, with the STAR budget, the same on the right-hand side, it shows a snapshot of our fund balance, the assigned funds, which are set aside for STAR for more emergency operating, as well as some future capital developments. Appropriated the same thing from April through December. We need to make sure that we have operating money until the tax funds come in. And then proposed to use for some project funds for STAR. We will be looking at purchasing 2 additional vehicles, and I can talk about that a little bit more in a minute. Banking and investment, that just shows you where we're at, as well as with the staggered investments that the investment committee started over this last year. STAR is at 2.5 as a millage. There is the formula there if anybody is interested in figuring out exactly how much they pay. And then the budget is balanced this year at $982,295. Moving on to page 2, this does a breakdown. STAR really gets money from millage as well as smart transportation through service grants and municipal and community credits. And then through interest, donations, and any odd things that I don't necessarily budget for, but we normally have some funds come through the year. So moving on to page 3, this gives you a breakdown of the expenses. So myself, as well as our accountant, are both paid, or our one salary is paid in percentage from STAR, and then the other percentage comes from Parks and Recreation. Myself, I'm paid 15% from STAR, and then our accountant is paid 25% for the portion of work that she does there. And then we have one other full-time staff who work for STAR, and that is our operation manager, who is in a different portion of this budget. The next department is benefits and staff overhead. This is a breakdown. You see that there is one for STAR as well as one for Parks and Recreation for the staff that work there. Moving on to page 4, this is our department support as well as our capital improvements. With our department support, the HR work that we've had done as well as the pay core is being used by both Parks and Recreation and STAR, so that cost is shared between them. Our capital improvements, those are the 2 vehicles that we were looking at, and then we are looking at getting cameras inside and outside of all the STAR vehicles for the safety of our drivers and the safety of the residents, obviously. The administrative office upgrades, again, just working on, they need a good little makeover. And then our facility overhang and parking lot, which is being added onto the existing overhang. That is out to bid right now. The bid should be coming in soon, but the project will not start until the weather clears. So it will probably move into the 26-27 budget. If you move to page 5, you'll see operation and building costs. Star contributes $26,000 towards all of the expenses for the community center for sharing the building. And then we have the operations services. That's where you see our full-time operating coordinator. Our main cost for Star comes from our part-time drivers and dispatchers because we have a lot of them because they do a lot of work. With the uniforms, training, testing, we follow all of SMARTS and for drug testing or anything that they have, we follow those rules that they do as well. Our vehicles, our maintenance, because of the age of the cars, has been pretty high, but, and we did have a few incidental accidents, so the expenses go there, but the revenue goes into a different part of the budget. So insurance does cover those happenings, but fuel, unknown, as always, but STAR, if everybody's not familiar, it's free transportation for seniors and persons with disabilities. All they need to do is fill out some basic paperwork and then call us. We schedule, take them to medical appointments, take them to the hairdresser, anything in between. Within this area and medical appointments, we go outside of the 72 square miles, so. Both of these are great service organizations, and I don't know if you have any questions.
I have no questions.
No.
No? Thank you.
Make a motion to go ahead and accept and receive the Star Transportation budget for 2026-2027 as presented. Support by DeGiorgio. Roll call, please.
DeGiorgio?
Yes.
Sakowicz? Yes. Benson?
Yes.
Kraft?
I recuse.
Gilbert?
Yes. Motion carries. Claire, thanks.
Thank you.
Bob, Chair of the Parks and Rec, thanks. You guys are getting a lot done over there. Really appreciate. Let your staff know everybody's doing wonderful things. So. Okay. All right. We're going to move on to item 7A, which is our cyber liability under unfinished business. Susan, sure.
Well, we talked about it last time, and we said people were going to do their own research, and to put it back on the agenda, so here it is. And meanwhile, Dustin gave us this new top one. It is a new bid for $500,000 coverage for about $1,300 less. So,
I don't, the $500,000 coverage is at $1,500 less on, we got 5426 as a total premium.
Yes,
And that's
for the fund.
annually?
yes.
I know, David, you had some questions regarding this, I think, last time.
Yeah, I just don't see the value in this insurance. If we talked about it last time, there is basically 4 cyber attacks on municipalities a month worldwide. I just don't see the value in having this. We could replace all of our computers and the servers for, probably $50,000 or $60,000. Why we would carry this kind of insurance? I don't see it.
Don't we have some of this coverage already through our insurance, or our internet provider now?
No, not insurance coverage.
But they cover us as far as cyber attacks?
Well, for example, this week we got, Steve and Mike and Christine got an email that was clicked on, and they had to go in and repair. And so, if that's what you're talking about, yes, we have support, but no coverage.
When you look at this, what's covered in this, it's clearly oriented to businesses and not to municipalities. And maybe if, there was some insurance available that was more oriented to the kind of things that municipalities do, I would say at least half the things in this list, they don't pertain to municipalities. So, again, I mean, I'm just one person, I just don't see the value in this.
We also talked about some fishing training so that the staff could be,
Yeah, Frank sent something out and then somebody
People
clicked on it, so.
I don't know.
It really looked real too. It was from
Yeah,
a
they put an
vendor.
amendment together and everything, or
Yeah.
ordinance together and the whole bit, yeah, but
Who
we
put it
picked up on
together?
it, though. I mean, we're slow.
it was just something that was sent
We
to us?
only did because somebody clicked on it.
Okay.
Yeah, it was, what was the safety, safety? It looked like it was something fire department related.
But that was an actual fishing
There was a couple
situation.
ones this month.
But I know we talked about
Couple this month?
possibly doing some kind of training for the staff to be a little more aware of clicking on things, maybe.
I mean, I don't, the trainings, I don't think needs to be that in-depth. You just really have to take a good look at the email,
Make sure it doesn't.
make
have
sure
any-
it's, brucetownship.org instead of all the other mumbo jumbo that they put
Right.
on there, or that's on there.
Chief, what do you get on your end?
I received the
The one-
same one that Susan's talking about. I didn't get far, because I'm like, usually quick to pick up on it. This one was pretty good. And I'm like, yeah, this doesn't seem right, so I just kind of stopped where I was at.
Yeah, I mean, I've gotten 2 or 3 all from Susan, but, claims I need, $18,000 wired to
Yeah.
this to cover this,
So
whatever,
obvious.
I knew it
Right.
was,
You didn't answer?
Right.
no.
me?
Didn't send it?
Because I knew it was folk
Yeah, I'm
bogus.
kidding.
So earlier in the week, I emailed Rick, and I asked him how what the track record is for the township, because we pay for a fishing per computer. Supposedly, they're supposed to test. So I asked for a report. He didn't respond to the email. I asked him about backup. I had some questions about backups too, and I got no response. So I don't know whether the staff does very well with their fishing exercises that
But
High Tech does. I mean, how often do you guys get fishing?
And probably the last 6 months, I'd say I got it like 2 or 3 times.
From High Tech?
No, not
He's
from
talking
High
about the
Tech, no.
checks, you're talking about when they,
High Tech bills us every month for checks. They're supposed to be testing our employees, like, I assume by sending them phishing emails.
I don't recall if I ever got one through them.
Okay,
I
Ah,
know
would you
one
know?
time they did send
Huh?
one because
They're
it
not
was
gonna tell you.
chickens and
Right.
puppies.
Hey, this is a phishing scam, don't click on it kind of thing.
They could send a report
Maybe
maybe
they're
once
the
a
ones
month.
sending, they could very well be sending some of these other things across, possibly.
What do you think we'd hear back? They're
They've
very
been
hard to
having,
get a hold
yeah,
of
I was
these
gonna
days.
say, now that they've changed hands,
Yeah.
and they've been having some issues getting responses.
is
I've
Rick
heard.
still there? He didn't
We
respond to
don't
my
know.
emails.
Susan said she wasn't
And
aware.
it said a ticket was opened. I was just asking questions about how our computers are backed up and the phishing, a report of sorts, like how did the township do if you're testing it? We're paying for testing
Sure.
per computer every month. It seems like there should be a lot of testing going on. So I don't know. That's why I wanted to know
Right.
what we're getting.
I mean, I'm not really happy about approving the $5,400, insurance policy on top of what we already have. But I mean, I don't see the need right now, so I'm not sure.
Okay, so you want it off and onward? This is the third
Yes, I think we
time.
I think we probably should follow up
Yeah.
with, I don't know if it's not called High Tech anymore, what is it called?
Centaurus or something like that?
Centaurus. Maybe follow up with Rick and find out if we can get a report and see if they have it on every machine, they should be able to generate.
You think?
So let's just remove it, we're not even gonna table it right now. We find something that comes up in the future, we can always bring it back. An idea.
Yep.
Okay. Let's move on to items, item number 8A, our Bible Truth Apostolic
Apostolic.
Apostolic Church, SLU, parcel ID 14-01-14-300-010. I know we have people here from the Apostolic Church representing, and David, this was at the PC at your last meeting,
Yes.
so.
So why don't we let Pastor go first, and then I can follow up if that works?
That sounds good.
Okay.
Good evening.
How are you, Pastor?
Good. How are you guys? Good. Well, since our meeting 2 weeks ago with the commission, they had talked to us about the lighting. We had already had our civil engineer change that towards current code. We have already added in our landscape. We have changed our landscape, and we have met the tree limit that they have asked for as well. And there was we are in the process of getting information, trying to get our information together for a variance on the height of the church, which I believe exceeded 6 feet above the minimum. But we are working on that variance, and we're hoping it goes through because the church is going to be set back so far from the road, and there's no close building next to it to compare. So we're hoping that goes through. Worst comes worst, it doesn't, and we just comply with it. But yeah, that's where we are.
Okay. David, I mean, maybe it's in here, but maybe I could ask you really quick. I know the height of a building is measured at the ridge line. It sounds to me like the issue is the top of the steeple.
No, it's actually measured halfway between the ridge and the eave.
Okay,
That's the building. It's at the halfway point. This building is 3 feet over the height for that. So the height in this zoning is 30 feet, and they're at 33. So we had talked to them about the possibility of, they had two options, basically. One was to address it with the zoning board of, the zoning board and request a variance, or to adjust the height. So at this time, it appears that they're just going to go to the zoning board with it, which is fine. As he said, the building is far off the road, and I don't know exactly how the zoning board takes care of that stuff, but that's where it's headed right now.
So I watched the meeting, and I know there was a public hearing there, and we did have people from the community. I don't think any of them had any issues with the height of the building. I don't see
No,
a
sir.
problem with getting a variance, but you got to go through the motions to go in front of the ZBA, which is another application, another part of the
Yes, sir.
process.
Yes,
I mean,
sir.
I don't know if it's anything you guys can do. Is it 3 feet? Doesn't seem like a lot, but maybe in construction trades, it's huge, maybe. I don't know.
Well, to be honest, the way that and we can comply if it comes down to it, no problem, Mr. Philbrook. I guess the way it was designed, we have a certain kind of a height that we're trying to meet for the interior part, sound, different things for the building. The higher, the better, from what I've talked with our musicians, different ones that are doing the music, whatever. 3 feet doesn't seem that big. I guess I was just going to see if we could get it. No big deal if we can't. Just going to see if we can get it. But aesthetically too, it does look a little better to be 3 feet higher. So we're going to shoot for it. If not, no problem. We will comply, and it'll still be a pretty building. And on a side note, you'll see, or I don't know if you have it, but when my civil engineer redid the thing, we did put a berm in the back with pine trees all the way on top so that we have a buffer for the community in the back part behind the property.
Do you have a copy of that by any chance? Because I don't think we got it in our packet.
Which page is it, honey? Go up here and show me if you would.
You did send a digital copy over to Lisa of the whole new site plan.
When did you send that?
2 days ago, maybe?
Yeah, we got our packets a week ago.
Okay, well, that's why then. So this.
Would you like to see what we have, Mr. Philbrook?
I would, just because I know that was one of the main things that the
Okay.
Is this one? You looking, talk about,
residents were focusing on.
you talk about the one with the berm with the evergreens in the back?
Correct.
Yeah, it's that one. It's small.
Can I, well, I can read it. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Is that this here?
If you'd like to keep that as well, that's no problem. We can get copies.
Oh, this is. Burns under there. I'm having a hard time. Do you know what it says? It says establish. Is that an 8-foot minimum tall berm?
I think it's 3 foot.
A 3 foot? And then what size, are these gonna be evergreens then?
Yes, sir.
And what size would they be when they go in?
We're not sure, I think he has listed, yeah, they're just evergreens listed on there.
But they could be a foot tall, or they could be 6 to 7 foot tall, I mean,
I know that when I talked to the civil engineer, I believe we talked about something a little higher, 6 foot, something like that.
I'd like to see something go, you know,
Big.
yeah.
Yes.
Bigger, I mean,
I
even go to the 8 to 10 level.
Okay,
you know,
I agree,
possibly.
I agree.
How far apart are you putting the pine trees? Or
I think
how
they're
far apart do you have them?
I think they're 6 feet apart.
Well, that seems pretty close unless he staggers them.
I think it is a stagger. Straight, is it straight? He wants them straight? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, possibly get, you know, I mean, if you put them 6 feet apart, they're just gonna grow in, they're gonna.
Right,
They're
true.
killing each other, you know, get burnt out after a few years and not gonna even focus, you know, give you what you're trying to accomplish. So this would be the total number of trees, does he have that on here? 30? So we could look at maybe 8 to 10 foot spruce at a staggered intervals. I would say that almost a 12-foot stagger would probably be more appropriate.
Yes, sir.
And it's going to give you the best reward in the long run.
Okay, yeah, my wife's taking notes on that.
And we can send that back for final site plan then, right, David, after we get it all? That would go in for final still to the PC, right?
So this is just the initial special land use. I'm not sure what the
Oh, that's
procedure
right,
is.
yeah. Well, I guess we're just proving the SLU, so. technically.
Yeah, so it's all going to have to, all that's going to get sorted out further on down the line, isn't it?
Yeah, it's all part of the motion, though.
It looks like Joe had made a recommendation, item 10, for the green belt and berm.
Right, it just was, he didn't have it.
He didn't have it available, but he made a recommendation.
Right, and that was part of our motion for the planning commission meeting. And would be again tonight. You know, even though it's been addressed, I want it in the
Right.
motion to make sure.
Okay. I don't have anything else. The lighting is a key issue. It's up by the road, farthest away that you can get from the residential development that's behind them. And then the berm is something they were looking for.
Yeah, I think on the plans that we had at the planning commission, if I remember, I think it's like 750 feet from the back of the building to the lot line. It's a significant distance.
740?
Is that what it is?
Oh, maybe it is 7, well, yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of space back there.
Okay. All right, David, do you have a motion?
Yes, so I would like to make a motion to allow a special land use for a place of worship on a 20-acre R1 residential property fronting on Van Dyke. The parcel ID is 14011430010. And this is conditional on approval of the ZBA for a 33-foot building height or a reduction in the building height to meet the code, subject to an acceptable revised and compliant landscape plan, which he's talked about tonight, to be provided regarding island trees, the type of trees. There was a question about island curbs and a berm with the trees and screening on the east side of the property. Obviously, we've talked about that. In addition, the applicant agrees to leave vegetation screening on the south side of the property, on the south side of the parcel, or replace it according to the ordinance if it's removed. So that is kind of heavily wooded along the south edge of that property. It's subject to approval of and remediation of items in the engineering review plan. There was some listed there. Conditional upon remediation of the pedestrian pathway protection noted in the planner's comments. It's subject to clarification of the lumen output noted on the current lighting plan, and a revision of the uniformity ratio there. And the current steeple height is acceptable, but any significant change may require an approval. So those are the things that were in the conditions of the planning commission.
I'll second that motion. David, thank you for that. If you want a copy, I'm sure David can get that to you, Roxanne, or did you write that fast?
I did. You can have it when we're done.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion at all? Can we get a roll call?
Philbrook,
Yes.
DeGiorgio,
Yes.
Sockowitz. Yes. Vincent,
Yes.
Pratt.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Appreciate you coming on a cold, snowy night.
Thank
Ed,
you.
Nice to see you over there. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Philbrook. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. God bless you.
Best of
Thank
luck.
you.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Going to move on to item 8B, which is our lighting, amendment to our lighting, section 161-5.27 of the zoning ordinance. David, this was across your guys'.
It was. So basically, there had been some interest from one of the planning commission members to update our lighting plan. It had not been done in a while, and some of the other municipalities have updated their plans and brought into their ordinance some limits on what can be done. So we took a look at this over several months. We did come up with some changes. I think they were listed in your packet. The one that I have is color coded. I'm not sure yours was, to note where the changes were. But basically, the plan now calls for when lighting will have to be brought up to code on existing properties. So if you add more than 33% of your square footage to your building, you'll have to bring the whole building up to compliance with the current lighting plan.
This is, excuse me for interrupting, but this is primarily focused on your commercial and
Yes.
industrial, right?
Yes.
This is not talking about residential.
Correct.
Okay. So you know.
So it also does put a limit on the color of light that you can put in. It can only be as high as 4,000 Kelvin, which is kind of the end of a white light, and beyond that, light starts to turn a little bit blue. And so that limit is there. There is also, what was the other? I think there was one more thing. It just mentions that, lighting can't be confused with traffic or control signals. There is, during outside of normal operating hours, lights have to dim automatically and then come back bright so there'll be more motion sensor type lights, so they can be more, accommodating to people that are around. Oh, the other thing was the uniformity ratio. So a building came to us maybe 2 or 3 months ago, and they actually had less light on their property, but our uniformity ratio was requiring that they add light. They didn't want the light. It was just a big open parking lot for turning trucks around in the back of their property. They had lighting back there, but the uniformity ratio, there were areas that were too dark. So they were going to have to add light, which this is trying to get rid of additional light. So now the zoning, or the planning commission, can authorize a reduction in the uniformity ratio if the people don't want that additional light.
I remember that was in Charmant, as a matter of fact, Bruce Tech Park, and
Yes.
in order to be uniform, they would have had to put a street light in the middle of the parking lot.
Poles, yeah, poles in the
Right.
middle of the parking lot with lights on them, and they didn't want it, and,
We-
you know, it would be a kind of a hazard for turning around big trucks back there, so,
And it's kind of hypocritical, we're trying to go with the whole dark
yeah,
sky thing.
trying to get, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you have a question?
I was just gonna say, is this gonna affect any of the commercial buildings currently, or they're gonna have to do some
So-
upgrading or changing to their plan?
Technically, in a minute,
No,
the zoning change is gonna go from this point forward.
This point
Anything that
forward,
was done
okay.
prior to this, there's nothing we can do about it. But
Okay.
like David stated, if they do an addition onto their building, anything that
more than
exceeds
33%,
More than
then it's gonna
33%. Then it would
cause
kick
this
in,
to.
correct.
Okay.
Believe it or not, I mean, this township is, I mean, I like what I see when we drive around, and we've had some issues, and people have been really compliant about the whole darksky.org, you know, thing that it's kind of going nationwide. And when you come into Bruce Township, it is kind of nice, because we do have, you know, it seems like everybody's lights are kind of shielded downward. We still have a few, but even in our industrial area, they've all been pretty compliant. We're still working on them, and it's really making a difference, but we don't get much of an argument out of anybody, so.
So in addition to this lighting ordinance, one of the things that the planning commission wanted the board to know and maybe see if there's something that could be done is, at the current time, plans are submitted for, there's a lighting plan submitted, and nobody knows really whether or not that plan was followed, whether or not there's more light in the end. But it would require someone going out and actually inspecting it at night, which is not something our inspectors do. So I don't know if there's a way that some of these things can be validated. If there can be a mechanism put in place for that. That was a concern.
Well, if they're installed and they're not compliant with our ordinance, then we
But
drive.
who's checking it, I guess is what they're
Well,
saying.
If
yeah,
someone calls on it,
Who-
then.
yeah,
Then you would get a call, but,
right. But at the same time, when the
building
electrical
is
inspector's going
completed.
out there and do the inspections, he
Sure.
should see if lights are
Maybe do
shining
a-
outward and not horizontal, you know,
evening inspection,
right? Well, it's just a matter, I think, more focused on the color and the Kelvin rating. It's a big issue too.
Yeah, so the angles can be easily determined if they're straight down or not straight down, but if they put in higher lumen lights than are allowed, or their plan says one thing, but when you actually go out with a meter, it shows something different, I guess that was the concern. So I don't know if that's something that can be, you know, our inspectors can validate during nighttime hours sometime. I'm not sure how to address it.
right, could be added to the inspection.
Yeah, can we look at that at a later date? Is that not something that needs to be done with this amendment, is it?
No,
Right.
no, it's just something they wanted to be brought to your attention. We have the ordinance, but we don't know fully if people are following the
Right,
ordinance.
yeah. Well, we hear about it, like Susan said, you know, so.
Yeah,
But yeah, I understand exactly. Mainly it's the Kelvin rating a lot of
yeah.
times. Okay, did you have a motion, Dave?
Yeah, just a motion to approve lighting ordinance 161.5.27 as amended.
I will support that motion. Any discussion? And as we mentioned earlier, any changes in this, this new ordinance is basically gonna go from this time moving forward.
So it's
Anything
7
prior to
days
that.
from publication is what it says.
Okay, from publications, okay. And it's basically, this new ordinance is for commercial and industrial, but the residentials would still be covered under our nuisance issues, so, you know. Okay, got a motion, and a second. Roxanne, whenever you're ready.
Benson,
Yes.
Philbrook,
Yes,
DeGiorgio,
Yes.
Sockowitz,
Yes,
Grattan.
Yes.
motion carries. Thanks, David, thanks, PC, for all the work they did on that, appreciate it. Another one for you, David, under item 8C, the Planning Commission's 2025 Annual Report.
Yeah, so you all should have gotten a copy of that in your packet. I'm just looking to make sure. So this is just annual report submitted to the board for all of the projects that the Planning Commission has done month by month throughout 2025. The list actually surprised everyone. you know, there's a lot of stuff there.
Yeah.
So
Guys
it
have
seems
been
like we've been busy.
So there's no action on it. Do we have to accept and file this? Motion to accept and file them? Probably? Because it's not like, it's just basically a recap. I just make motion to accept and file the PC's 2025 annual report.
Or,
Report by DeGiorgio. And we get a roll call, please.
Sockowitz? Yes.
DeGiorgio?
yes,
Kraft?
Yes.
Philbrook?
Yes.
Benson?
Yes.
Motion carries. Move on, item 8D, set the public hearing for the CDBGs. I'll make a motion, go ahead and set the public hearing on, for the CDBGs Community Development Block Grants for February 18th board meeting, 2026.
Support?
Worked by Dorothy. We have no other discussion. Roll call, please.
Philbrook?
Yes.
DeGiorgio?
yes,
Kraft?
Yes.
Benson?
Yes.
Sockowitz?
Yes.
Motion carries. Item 8E, the Board of Reviews reappointments. I'll make a motion to go ahead and reappoint Darrell Blaylock to the Board of Reviews. His term from January 26 to January of 28.
support,
Support by DeGiorgio. Roll call, there's no discussion.
Sockowitz?
Yes.
DeGiorgio?
yes,
Philbrook?
Yes,
Benson?
Yes.
Kraft?
Yes.
motion carries. Item 8F is our zoning board of appeals reappointments. A motion to go ahead and reappoint Rick Barrett on the zoning board. His term to go 10 of 25 through 10 of 28. I think I gotta do them separate though, don't I, or can I do them together? And then I'll also motion to reappoint Kirk Moss, zoning board of appeals, term from 10 of 25 through 10 of 28.
support,
Everybody, Giorgio, no other discussion, can we get roll call, please?
Benson?
Yes.
DeGiorgio?
yes,
Sockowitz?
Yes.
Kraft?
Yes.
Philbrook?
Yes, motion carries. Item 8G, the fire department new hire. Chief, you're up.
Looking for approval for Kirk Holcomb to be hired for the position of full-time firefighter medic, starting February 2nd.
February 2nd.
what's the last name?
Holcomb,
So can you give us a status on his credentials?
he's coming from Rochester, he's got 14 to 15 years as a medic.
So he's already certified, all he needs, so he's making transfer.
Making a transfer from a different department.
Has he been with us already?
He is not.
No.
Make a motion to, support the fire department new hire Kirk Holcomb.
I'll support Frank's motion. It's open for discussion, so
You want to put the date in?
Yeah, probably start date.
February 2nd, hire date.
did this go through the union already, or has it got to be approved by the union, or no? I can't remember what we changed, if any of that's changed at all.
Chief thinks so.
Nothing
The recommend,
needs to go through the union. I mean, they were part of the process.
okay.
They were always part of the process.
That's the only question I had. If there's no other questions for the chief, may we get a roll call, please, Roxanne?
Philbrook?
Yes.
DeGiorgio?
Yes,
Kraft?
Yes.
Benson?
Yes.
Sockowitz?
Yes.
Welcome, Chris Holcomb. February 2nd, did you say?
February 2nd.
It's Kirk.
Thanks, chief.
Kirk Holcomb.
Kirk.
Kirk, not Chris. His
Kirk,
name's
not
Kirk.
Chris.
not
Kirk Holcomb,
Yeah,
K-I-R-K.
yeah.
His middle name's Jim, he goes by Jim. So, you do see him.
All right.
Legal name Kirk first.
Move on to item 8H, the resolution adopting Macomb County Hazard Mitigation Plan. So this went into place a while back, under the term when Whitkin was still here. I know we met
It
down
gets
there.
renewed, I believe, every couple of years.
Every 5
It's just housekeeping.
So is there any changes at all since the original? Is all the wording the same?
I don't think there's much change in it.
Not much, or there was change that you're aware of?
That I'm aware of. I don't think there's not much.
Okay.
Usually it's just housekeeping, it just continues to renew. Basically, sign up with the county
Yeah.
and
So
they give us
we do have a copy.
emergency management. The copy was in the board packet, I believe, the whole,
Yeah, we have one in the clerk's office too, if anybody wants to
like
take a look.
200 pages, I believe. 350, I wasn't even close.
Yeah. I'll make a motion to go ahead and, accept the, yeah,
Resolution as presented.
is it resolution?
Yeah, because there's a resolution in your packet that adopts it.
Okay, resolution as presented for adopting the Macomb County Hazard Mitigation Plan.
Do you have to say for 2026? Because this says 05,
It is
25.
it is 05, 25
Is it?
to 30.
That is?
Yeah, we're a little
Okay,
late
that's
on it.
correct.
So they had to get their approvals, now they sent them out for us to get our approvals.
So that would be for 2025 to 2026, is
2030.
26.
2030.
Support.
Okay, so it's a
I do need
5-year plan.
I believe there was a signature copy. I
Yeah,
remember
and there's
that
a
if you can
resolution
email me
of
that,
it.
so I can email that to the county.
Okay. Motion and support by DeGiorgio. Could we get a roll call, please?
Kraft,
Yes.
Vincent,
Yes.
Sockowitz,
Yes.
Philbrook,
Yes.
DeGiorgio.
Yes.
The motion carries. You, Chief, you'll get those signatures, you said?
I need your signatures so I can email it to the county.
Sounds good. Let's move on to item 8L, no, 8I.
It's I.
Drain maintenance and a cost share. I know we got Don Brown, sorry, Don. Last meeting, that we had you at the beginning, so. Don,
Yeah, Don Brown, Deputy Public Works Commissioner. Candace Miller sends her greetings, Public Works Commissioner Miller. I apologize for last meeting. I've been coming to this board for 35 years as your county commissioner representing the interests of the Bruce Township and the northern Macomb County, and I pulled the agenda to make sure I was where I was on the agenda and looked at meetings that night, but you guys moved the time to 6. I've been coming to 7 o'clock for so long. I'm a creature of habit. So I showed up promptly at 7 o'clock and had a nice conversation with people that were left after the last meeting. So I apologize for not being here, and no disrespect intended. But I'm bringing to you the drain maintenance contract that's very similar to what we do across the county to help maintain the drains. You know, the county has 450 drains, open and enclosed drains throughout the county that, need to be maintained, and they hadn't really been maintained a whole lot before Commissioner Miller took office. However, we've started now, and when you have the heavy rains, we seem to have a lot of these microburst heavy rains and causes flooding, and one of the things that aggravates flooding is drains not being opened up. It's like your heart's got clogged, it doesn't function properly. Well, same with the drains. And those drains aren't opened up, the enclosed and the open drains, helps aggravate flooding and all the rest. It's important, obviously, for the roads, for farming and residents as well, to have these drains opened up. And this drain that we're talking about here, the K drain, is an inter-county drain. It starts in Lapeer County and comes down into the Bruce Township. Well, they're working on the drain up in Lapeer County right now, and they're going to be opening that up, and it's going to allow more water to be flowing south. And our drain, and we've inspected that drain, and it hasn't been maintained. No one really knows when the last time it was actually maintained, but it needs to be maintained and opened up so that it doesn't cause problems. We're trying to be proactive. When I was chairman of the Board of Commissioners, we authorized $1 million to the Public Works Office to get in and clean these drains that were causing problems with flooding and bad roads and so forth. And but that money doesn't go very far across the whole county. It's just like road money. We don't have enough road money to take care of the problems we have. But we've got a 50-50 match program where we work with the local communities, the 50-50 split on these repairs, and work to get those drains opened up. We estimate the cost for each of us to clean the drain out. The McKay drain is about $27,000. It's an estimate. It could be, more or less. If it's more, you don't pay more. But if it's less, we keep the money in the pot and it stays for use for the township. We take care of many things. The Clinton River, North Branch of the Clinton River runs through the township, and that often we pull tons tons and tons of wood out of the Clinton River throughout the course of the year, and we respond to constituent complaints that call us directly from township boards, local officials, and so forth, saying we got issues in the Clinton River, or there's blockage, or beaver dams, or what have you, and but we respond to clean those out. And so what we're asking is today is to help us in this, and $54,000 total contract and $27,000 for each of us to pay, and we'll work with Cross Excavating, which is one of the contractors we use to work on those ditches and clean them out and get them going. I'm a little casual right now. I inspected a drain before I came in here. We cut some trees out of a drain in Ray, and our crews are working also in Washington Township, cleaning out a couple of their drains. So it's commonplace across the county to do this, and we'd like your participation in this if you would join us. I understand, I know in the northern end of the county, it's a lot of money. $27,000 is a lot of money for a small township with not a large tax base. But if you did it yourself, if the problem comes, it's going to cost you a little bit more because we're using our own equipment and our own personnel, and it'd be about a third more if you'd had it contracted out yourself. Well, Armada Township's got a contract before them. We've done a lot of work with Richmond Township, well, all across the county, for a matter of fact, but in the north end of the county, we've done work in Armada Township as well. So there's, it's not unheard of, but, everyone's got their own budget, and that's, what you have to decide what you want. But, we're willing to work with you, and be flexible with it, but we want to definitely get that drain opened up, get ahead of the problem, because, spring will be here before we know it. We want to get it done this winter, especially while the ground's frozen, and our crew said work in weather this morning, so we'll get out there and get it done. But, so I'm asking for your agreement.
I'm glad you recognize the fact that we don't have much money. That's very, really appreciated.
Yeah, I do.
But just a question, are ditches considered part of the drainage?
Not the road ditches, unless we do have some ditches that our county drains that run along the road that actually is designated a county drain, but most of the road ditches are not.
Okay.
Now, when I was on the board also, we allocated $300,000 to the Department of Roads to have a ditching program with their roads, but really didn't work out in the board because it wasn't being utilized. The board suspended it for this year, but the road commission takes care of their own road ditches per se. I try to work with we work with the road department, when we're doing work on our drain, and if they're doing work on theirs, to coordinate, because those road ditches are often conduits to get to our drain.
Right.
So we try to work on them as best we can.
Those fragmites are causing, in my opinion, a big problem.
Oh, they absolutely are. In fact, we have a fragmite removal program at some of our drains. Most of them tend to be over in Chesterfield Township where the big problems are, but we recognize that. We get some grants to help us, do a little work in those against the fragmites to treat them and so forth in our drains to keep them open, because we don't want, to add to the flooding problems. It's just like, your sink, you got a small hole and you got to turn the spigot on full. It can't go down if it's only a small hole. And
Right.
if it's filled with fragmites, it's even worse.
Right.
So we're working towards that.
So this is a project you're wanting immediate to do?
Say again?
This is a project you're going to work on immediately, so if you...
Yeah, well, we want to get started on it this winter. So we want to get going before spring.
So, yeah, you came to me, I think, was about two months ago, Don? and said
Yes.
that You gave me this proposal, and I told you that primarily we got $5,000 in our drain budget for doing drain work this year. I mean, we are one of the smaller townships, along with Armada and Ray. We don't have the funding like some of these other communities have got. The other issue we've got is that the fragmites and the ditch digging, the road commission wants us to give a contribution on those, which we don't really have technically budgeted for that either, and we don't have a millage for any of this. It's coming out of we only get 0.7 mil to run the township on, and all these little things are really going to eat up our budget real fast on stuff that we would be using in other areas. We've also got, which I think this falls on your desk, is the Clinton River Spillway assessments coming up this year, in which we're gonna have to participate annually for the next 5 years, $13,652, which we, have the opportunity to try to budget for that. If you start adding this up, and, it's,
Well, I know, I was
Coming up to
budget chairman of the
20 to
county
25.
for 30 years, I definitely understand.
my point being is it's gonna be with this on there, it's gonna be about 20% of our annual budget, our annual revenue on our 0.7 of a mil. It's a lot of money for us, I understand the need to have it done, and then, needless to say, our next item on the agenda, which we need to look at and the board's gotta consider, we have a piece of property on 36 and Hip Road, which is 165 acres, give or take, can't remember, 140. We have 2 ponds on that with a spillway. Well, with these heavy torrential rains that we've had issues with the spillways washing away. Very critical that we need to get that repaired all here at the same time. And that's a $7,000 bid that's coming in, the board's gotta look at tonight also as well. So you said that the county would be willing to try to work with us, and what means we,
Well, I mean, we could, when does your budget year start?
April 1st.
April 1st? We could probably spread this over 2 years, so it'd make it a little bit easier, so make it not, you don't have to do it all at once, you could spread it up and.
I mean, I talked with our county manager today a little bit. We do have some funding, but we're gonna have to obviously do a budget amendment in order to, we have to pull money from Peter to pay Paul is what we're basically gonna do in order to try to get this accomplished.
And I'm sympathetic. I understand the challenges the local municipalities have, and, northern, because I've been out here for a long time, I understand. It's not easy, but I'm bringing it to you anyway. It's money, just like our house is breaking down. We got to maintain our house. We got to try to stay ahead of things in the community, and these things haven't been taken care of, and they had need to be. And, Commissioner Miller's made it a point to make sure that we get ahead of these things and get on top of it so that we don't have the problems that come with the flooding and the problems of those drains not being opened up, so.
I know that since this administration, this board has kind of started, the majority of us have been on here, we didn't have these cost shares like with the Phragmites and ditch digging. These are things that just come over the past couple of years. What's the next couple of years? I mean, like I said, we don't have a millage that all this money, basically the millage goes to the county, the funding automatically goes to the road commission, goes to the county. I mean, I know that Cindy over in Richmond, they tried to put a special millage together to do the ditches over there, and that failed miserably, I think, didn't it?
Yeah,
With their
it didn't pass.
constituents. So my point being is that if we're paying a county millage already, and a road, I guess the Department of Roads gets their money from the tax gas, if I'm not mistaken, that doesn't come out of the county, right? Why are we starting to, be the, I guess, the people that are gonna be paying?
Well, just like the same with roads. I mean, there's not enough road money to go around, but
Right.
you want to pave, roads, the road commission says, well, there's a match, we're happy to spend the money if you want to match us on it. And we have limited amount of money, and so we're trying to come to you and say, listen, we got that $1 million we've set aside. We want to allocate part of that for your operation here to get ahead of a problem. So.
Yeah. You guys got any questions for Don? There's 2 locations here. You're talking, this proposal that you're showing us is also the one on Fisher Road, correct?
Yeah, there's a beaver dam over there that has been causing some issues, and we've addressed part of it already, and our crews are going to go out there when it's cold and it's frozen ground and get out there and get into it a little bit better, so.
So they're gonna go back, you're saying?
Yes.
Do more work?
Yeah.
Okay. And I did a question, I'm not trying to give you a hard time.
No, listen, I understand you give limited dollars.
Yeah.
I totally understand.
And I did question the fact that it seems, is this beaver dam is on private property, and why,
Well, now, not exactly, the Clinton River, Clinton River runs through all across the county, and Clinton River runs a lot of people's backyards, which many people consider their property too, right? So we're in there all the time cleaning up beaver dams, and back of residence yards and back of condo subdivisions and so forth. So it's consistent with what we've always done. So it's just, we don't want to, so.
So the total cost you're looking for is for it's
When you talk-
27,000.
When you
Yeah.
talk to Donna, what area of the budget are
Going
you?
to come out of our building maintenance. We have 39,000 in building maintenance.
Was that building maintenance?
Yeah.
If we split it in half, though, with the budget.
Right,
for
half of it
Well,
in
that's
this,
the- but we-
right,
yeah, 'cause
fiscal
we-
year, and then half for the next.
When you guys work in the Clinton River, is that just something the county does all on its own, or do you cost share that with the township?
We cost share that out. Clinton Township, Shelby Township, Harrison Township tend to be the main ones because that's where the main river flows through, but we cost share that, yes.
Okay.
Said before, there was no maintenance being done, and now there is, and, so we're trying to get ahead of it.
If we did half out of the building and maintenance this year, is that something we could just put in the budget next year as a line item?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have some leftover money out of the cemetery that we can move over before the end
Yeah,
of March.
we're just going to use what we have in the building, and that will probably get rolled over because we're going to need every bit of revenue anyways to go forward,
Right.
I'll make a motion, go ahead, see if I can word this right. Go ahead and, I'm just gonna round it off to,
27,000?
well, we're gonna do half.
Because there's 24, it's at 24,453 currently in that fund. Am I looking at that right? Building
It's supposed to be
maintenance?
39 is what she was saying.
Okay, so maybe, I thought I was looking at building maintenance, there's 24 available.
What was it, beginning and middle?
That was, building and grounds is the department, it's on page 17.
She said it was 39. What do you got?
It's building and grounds,
Yeah,
and it's on page 17. on
what's
this.
in there?
Right now, available, it says 24,453.98. And I'm not sure if that's where,
Wasn't she talking about taking it from the roofing fund?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don, I'm gonna make a motion to approve funding for $14,000 for, towards this, clearing up the, what do we call it, the North Branch of the Clinton River?
drain maintenance.
The drain maintenance contract, yeah.
Okay, drain, I guess, yeah, we do. Now, motion to go ahead and approve $14,000 for the year 2025 towards the drain maintenance contract as presented. The balance to be paid out of budget of 2026 fiscal year.
Support.
Motion and support by DeGiorgio. Does anybody got any more discussion? So we've got 14,000, so that gives us, so we actually have 5,000 in the drain budget right now, it should be in there. Dorothy, have you got it in front of you?
I don't see
So
the
that would
drain
give us-
budget. Where do you see,
Should be one that just specifically says drains.
does it say drains?
Yeah.
So is it 14 and the 5,000, or just the 14?
No, just the 14.
Okay.
Because we don't know if something else may,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah, I don't see, I'm not seeing drain.
yeah.
Is that contract with you?
Say again?
Signed contract with you then?
Yep. The supervisor would sign it and send it back to us, and the commissioner will sign it, then I'll send it back to you.
Okay, thank you.
And I'll make the changes in the language to reflect your action today, that it's over 2 years.
Yeah, I think, I know it's in there, it's
Okay.
5,000. So we have 29,000 some change, 29,453 to work with. We got 14 that we're using, leaves a balance of 15,000. We still gotta look at our next item on the agenda. So we got a motion and a second by DeGiorgio. If there's no other discussion, what's the name of the company doing the work?
Cross excavating,
Cross, C-R-O-S-S?
yes. It's in the contract on the page there.
I know that the guy that we were having look, got a proposal, he said he was willing to bid these. I know that I don't know if you have people,
We do. Cross is, they're out of Richmond. They're actually out of Casco. And, yeah, we bid that stuff out.
all right, but this Earthcon Excavating, I don't know if you're familiar with them at all, but they're willing to be.
Who are they?
Earthcon Excavating,
We don't use them, but they have them reach out to us. We're,
I will have them get a hold of you for sure.
absolutely.
So we have a motion and a second. Roxanne, your magic?
Kraft,
Yes.
DeGiorgio,
Yes.
Philbrook,
Yes.
Sockowitz. Yes.
All right,
Yes.
Don, motion carries. Don, thanks for coming out.
I'd like to normally bring you good news, but this is part of maintenance that we've got to deal with. It's not, we don't like it, but it needs to be done. And, we'll get ahead of the problem, and there won't be a problem so it's kudos to you for, just doing what you can, to stay ahead of the game. And I'm always around too. I'm still always available. I mean, I'm in the Public Works office now. I'm very happy there. Enjoyed doing the work with the engineering and, working with the drains is a major issue I've always dealt with for my constituents out in the north end of the county. And so my background gets me well suited to do what I'm doing now with the Candace Miller in the office there. And I'm at your service. So as always, please give me a call. I'm still available. I still have all the contacts I had before on my phone. So I'm here to help you with everything you need, all right?
All right, thanks, Dave.
But they are gonna go back to Fisher Road and do a little more work
Yeah.
out there.
Yes, sir.
We did talk to that property owner out there, and he said he seemed to think that it was gonna be better and wider or something.
Yeah, it's going to be better. There was an issue, well, anyway, it's going to be done. Thank you.
All right, Don,
Thank you for your time. I appreciate it. Have a good evening.
Thank you, you too.
So much on drainage. Now let's move on to item 8J. This is our township.
Can I ask you a quick question?
Sure.
So we have all that money that comes in on the franchising fees that are discretionary. What do we do with all that money?
Hey, Bills.
Yeah.
And that's starting to dwindle
Wouldn't this
down.
be something you could use for
And
this?
that-
Well, we can budget it. It's a revenue that comes in, and it depends on how the revenue gets dispersed, but it could come out of there as revenue. But like Frank said, that there's not as many people on
That's-
cable no more.
yeah.
That funding is slowly dwindling.
Yeah, that's slowly starting to go, we're not getting as much funding from that anymore as we used to.
But we
Must be
still use it
earmarked
for our, our girls and our recording here. Riley does a great job. We gotta keep that funding coming in. And we've got that one source paper that that funding will come out of, that's gonna be done quarterly, and that's a $10,000 thing. But yeah, it does go in for revenue, but yeah, it's a possibility.
Just wondering.
Okay. All right, thanks. Item 8J is the township property spillway maintenance repair. So, this brought to my attention early fall that the spillway was washing away. I've been out there, but it's been a really long time since I've been out there, and I do remember the spillway that's out there. It is pretty extensive as far as how it, I guess, works, and obviously you can see in your pictures, there's pretty large pipes that go through there. With these big rains that we've had, no different than anywhere else, it's taken a toll on some of our infrastructure, including our spillway up at the park property. This happened to be kind of in the chief's backyard. And I know you're not allowed to go out there, but I told you to go take a look at it. You said your wife took a look at it.
My wife did take a look at it.
I mean, we've got these pictures, but can you give a report on?
It just looks like, with the pictures, it looks like they're eroded on the east side. I don't know if the culvert just needs to be extended, why the erosion happened. But where that spillway actually goes through the township property behind my yard, behind a couple other ones, goes actually under the road, Country Manor, and then dumps off on Peters, and then from Peters, it ends up going, I'll say, southeast into the cliff. So this is a pretty big catch basin in Bruce Township, so.
So I put a GIS map up of the overhead on it. You can see that there's two large ponds that are, that this spillway takes care of. On the very east side, which would be to the right of the pictures you're showing, you can see that little lighter color, that's the two-track that goes across there, and there is a spillway. One pond dumps into the other pond, and then that pond does drain out to the east through the spillway, and it keeps going to the east, and then like the chief of
It
state.
eventually drains on the Cliff River.
Right. So it's these are pretty good-sized ponds over there. And I think that it's not gonna get any better. And I think what he was saying, he's gonna replace, there was some 6/8 stone that got washed away through these heavy rains. In turn with the 6/8 stone, you're seeing these large boulders that got moved. And, I mean, these are pretty good-sized boulders according to what I can see in the pictures. Washed away.
It flows pretty heavy in the spring.
Spring. So, what do you?
It's rushing out of there pretty good.
So I talked to Brett originally about this, Brett Chapman, because he seemed to be familiar with it. I know Rick and the whole family's pretty familiar. There was some work that was done prior, and I don't know to what extent, but this guy from EarthCon is the one that did the work prior, and Brett kind of recommended that he would probably be a good person to kind of take care of it. I know that this EarthCon does work for the Village of Romeo. I talked to Tim Mentz this morning. Frank happened to be president, and he gave a really, Tim Mentz, the director of the DPW, or the supervisor, he gave a high recommendation. They use this same company for emergencies. Said the guy's very fair, and he's gonna do a really good job. He's not gonna rip us off. This is not something where we can get like, just a general contractor to go out there and bid this job. It's kind of tucked away, and it's something a little bit different. It's not just a normal bidding process.
It's landlocked now
Yeah.
because of my subdivision and the surrounding houses. I think the only access now is 36 Mile Road on a two-track.
So what he's gonna,
Originally, when they did it, probably about 10 or 15 years ago, they actually went through my yard and my neighbor's yard to get there, because that was the quickest path.
okay, the last time?
The last time, from 36 Mile Road, it's probably about a quarter mile.
Yeah, it's back there.
It's back there.
So what he's proposing to do is he's actually gonna put a head wall, and he's gonna close off the flow, restrict the flow from going into the two pipes. And then he's gonna reinstall the 2-foot diameter limestone boulders that washed away. And he's gonna grout those in place, and he's gonna, with ready-mix concrete,
So when you say he's gonna restrict the flow,
he's gonna stop the flow, like put a,
coming out,
I mean,
going in or coming out?
going out until they get the work completed.
Well, he'd
Oh, okay.
have to stop it coming into that drain.
Yeah,
So
while
he
they do
could
the
work
work.
inside of it.
I thought he was gonna control the flow in, out. I've seen it where that water's floated over there,
What-
above the,
Which happens because that's the other thing, is then how often do we go in there and clean the trees out from in front of the grates? And that's the biggest problem. I know that Chapmans have taken it upon themselves.
I think they've done it quite a bit. There's no grates in front of that one.
Right,
The spillway to the west, to the other pond, there's grates there.
Right.
That's all concrete.
right.
So when that one overflows, it hits concrete, and then hits more concrete and goes
Right.
back into the other pond.
So, I mean, I know that the Chapmans, it's been nice to them to take care of it, but is it their responsibility to keep them grates open? I mean, it takes, like you said, do we have to set up something, maybe look at something in the future to, I mean, maybe we gotta get some kind of an access point to get out there, keep an eye on the thing, to make sure that they're, that things aren't getting plugged. I mean, the grates get plugged, you get one branch, and the next thing you get brush in there, and the leaves start building up. You
Is
know.
he thinking about putting grates on this one?
No, I don't think so. These pipes take a pretty good flow. But he's gonna put that, it looks like what he's saying here, he's gonna put a head wall, stop the flow of water, reinstall the 2-foot diameter limestone boulders, and then instead of putting a 6/8 stone, which 6/8 stone is like a 6/8 septic's a 3/4 inch stone, He's gonna install 3-inch by 8-inch rock around the bridge where the 6/8 stone got washed away. And he'll topsoil and seed and mulch and remove the temporary dam. So, and then you got your price breakdown, machine and time, track loader $700, mini excavator $650, concrete bucket. For track loaders, 200, 3 laborers, 10 hours each, 2,600. 3 yards of concrete at $925, 10 yards of 3 by 8-inch rock at $800, and seed and mulch. And total price is $7,085. It seems like a great price, you know, so. Is anybody got any questions? I'll make a motion to go ahead and approve, approve Earthcon's Excavating's quote at, as presented, $7,085. Take care of the spillway ASAP, I guess, so.
Support.
Support by DeGiorgio. Any other discussion?
So this, how many acres is this property? This is property that the township was
Yeah.
gifted years ago.
It's 103 parcels of land, is
I
it?
believe it's 140 acres.
Yeah,
148.
40. That's currently part of our park,
Zone park.
zone park. Is there any way Parks and Rec would?
We've talked about that in the past.
Yeah, I think
It's kind of, their
It's
five.
not zoned park.
Okay.
I mean, it was donated to
It's-
us with the conditions that they turn it into
Into
a
a
park,
park.
but it's not legitimately a Parks and Rec park.
It's not, that parcel's not included in their
Right,
5-year plan.
correct.
Okay, that
Right.
was my
I
question.
think Lagan, when he donated it, his intention was that that eventually would be a park.
Right.
Which I think, 2 years ago, we had people coming here and
Yeah, actually,
wanted to
Yeah.
Create a
wanted-
park off
Create a
of-
park, right. Yeah.
Gould, or not Gould,
Yes.
Pitt.
so when we originally,
And my question to them was, at that time, who's gonna maintain this?
Right.
Right.
Because this is part of that. And very few people go back there. I mean, it's just not maintained. This spillway probably, you know, it could have been a tree that was de-rooted. I hear trees fall back there all the time, you know? So, God, who's gonna maintain it? And it hasn't been maintained. It goes back to when Don was here, we haven't maintained these things, and now they're starting to crumble. Eventually, the water's gonna make it down here.
as spillway gives away, there's a lot of gallons of water behind
There's
it.
a lot of water there, and a huge elevation change.
Yeah, could have some
Probably
kind of,
between the, what I call the top pond and the lower pond, you're probably 20, 25 feet of elevation change. So when it comes out of that top pond and it gives away on that bottom pond, you're not gonna stop that water.
Yeah.
okay.
You said there's some money left available for drainage.
Well, that I
is
was
that-
figuring in, yeah, so that would be part of the total cost, and we would have, you know, we would obviously do an amendment, it would be, we'd be looking at a total of,
And obviously, like Mike said, the Shatners have been taking care of it the best that they can, because they obviously farm
Right.
other, I believe, 240 acres around it.
When would they start the work? When would they-
that I'm not sure of, he'd probably get on it pretty quick, he knows the urgency that's kind of involved there, so. I'll have him try to get it as soon as possible, obviously, we don't want to have the spring rains come in and have bigger issues, so. Did we get a roll call yet, Roxanne? Okay, whenever you're ready.
Sockowitz,
Yes.
DeGiorgio,
Yes.
Kraft,
Yes.
Vincent,
Yes.
Philbrook.
Yes. Okay, motion carries. Move on to item 8K, our SHPO study for our water main grant. This is our historic preservation that the state of Michigan wants us to do a study on the area where we're looking to run the water main into. It's pretty common for them to ask for this, and basically they're looking for any ancient burial grounds, they're looking for any historic sites, any sanctuaries, animal, so on and so forth, but we have to go through it. It's not an easy process, it takes about 6 months for it to get done, but this is part of the process. So it's been fun to use a proposal, to have the SHPO done, it's $4,000. I mean, again, I'm hoping we can get this thing wrapped up pretty soon, so. It's only been 2 years. And it looks like it's under section 106 of the applications. And, according to our congressional funding, so. I mean, I'll make a motion to go ahead and approve to have Nowak and Frost engineers, but I think that they're having, is Jessica Flores, the one that's gonna do the ship hole. Yeah. It is for Nowak and Frost, so they'll handle it. Go ahead and approve to have Nowak and Fowles to the SHPO, for a total cost of $4,000 on our water main extension grant. Any support?
I'll support that.
Or
So,
by
where
Woodson?
is this exactly gonna be? The water main extension, where is that?
So currently it's on the east side of M53. I know this is probably cheap being here and give you a little bit of a history. So it's just east of M53 at McVicker and 33 Mile Road.
Okay,
I applied for a grant. It was a $2.1 million grant about 3 years ago through congressional funding through Lisa McLean's office. We were approved through the congressional funding for the grant, but needless to say, there's, not just with us, but almost every municipality has had a really hard time getting the funding for it. We've all been approved, but getting the funding is a whole different story. You know, it's like, why would you guys offer the money if you want to make it so hard? I mean, a lot of places just gave up on it.
okay.
We were working with Amanda Peters, and she got us to a certain point, but it's now, we've got this Nowak and Faust, which she's gotten the congressional funding from Lisa McLean's office for a few different communities, and she's very familiar with the process. So, that's where she's at. We're kind of, the ball's in her court, and she's bringing all this to us, what we need to do, so.
So when you say it's on the east side M53, from where did you say?
At 33 in,
McKay, is it?
McKay Road, right, yeah.
So that's where the water,
It's-
the main
In
water.
Cloverfield subdivision,
Yeah,
basically, is where
okay.
it's at.
And then where's it going?
Right.
So we want to run it to the west side of M53.
Okay,
And what we would like to do is run it up 33 Mile Road till it turns into McVicker, start making
Okay.
a turn on McVicker,
Yeah.
then it's good as far as we can to Gates. And then also run it to the north after it crosses over the west side of M53, whether it be in the right of way or the easement of M53, which is part of the SHPO, towards Springbrook Mobile Home Park.
okay, I see.
You know, and eventually we would like to loop that whole triangle from the 34, from the bypass, you know, so ultimately the best thing in a water system is to have a loop system.
Sure,
You know,
okay.
so. And we're gonna try to get as far as we can with that, you know, so.
On this paperwork, where does it show the 4,000? Is it
On the fee,
Yeah, I-
it's right at the end.
Where is
the
it?
last
On the
page,
very-
it
on the
says
back?
fee.
Second to last
So
page.
this,
Oh, the second to last page?
It says fee, just says a lump sum fee of $4,000.
Starts out with schedule at the top and then fees.
and then, once that's, if and when that's completed, then Springbrook hooks up to
Well,
the
we're gonna
water.
try, I don't know, we can force that, but they have really poor water at Springbrook. Springbrook originally was one of the reasons why we wanted to go with this water main extension in the first place. Unfortunately, the previous administration never got the water main extended. Springbrook did end up investing in another well on the west side of Van Dyke, because they're running off of wells over there at a very
Right.
expensive cost.
Yep,
And now that they made that investment, it may not be so easy to get them to tie in, but, you know, I think we gotta get the water main in place, and then hopefully we can force their hand. And their water quality is very poor over there, so even with the new well. So, but,
So this is basically just to check for that archaeology and burial ground,
yeah,
all of that.
yeah.
And they're gonna be doing the work?
And the biggest thing we got in our water system is we need to extend our water system, bring on more users. I don't know, there's a possibility, if we do get the water main in, there's a couple developments, we got the Lombardo development, it's gonna go in by the Emmett's Energy with 28 more residential homes. Royalton Pines, which is across the street from Sheena's, I don't know if we can get water that far. We lost out on Menco Timbers, you know, so the sooner we can get more users on, the better we are, so. I have a motion with a second from Vincent. Is there any other discussion? Now, can we get a roll call, Roxanne, please?
Philbrook,
Yes.
DeGiorgio,
Yes.
Vincent,
Yes.
Sockowitz,
Yes.
Kraft.
Yes.
Motion carries. I'll keep you guys up to date on it. Dave, I got a map of all that stuff. If you want to come by, I'll show it to you.
Thanks.
You know, so. Let's move on to item 8L, our work authorization for Giffords and Webster Cedar View paving. I guess I can handle this. So basically, we're just going to authorize Giffords and Webster to do the engineering and cost of construction. Get
So
bid.
this was approved, SAD?
What's that?
That it was approved then,
Yeah.
this project?
So I guess we're gonna give Giffords and Webster, authorize Giffords and Webster to go ahead and do the engineering on Cedar View SAD. And this is all part of the construction costs that we were presented before.
And then the SAD will pay all the
Yeah.
costs, right? Even the money that we've already
Yes,
shelled out, we're
everything.
gonna get reimbursed?
So I don't know how you guys, you must, I know Donna's familiar with this, so I think you guys must have some kind of maybe, how are you guys keeping this cost separate that we're spending on this project? So that we're,
So it's just noted in the item line,
okay,
so we would have to go through Giffords.
because we've been paying already for some stuff. Other things.
Locations and,
So I got a motion to go ahead and approve Giffords.
Did you see their suggested motion?
Oh, did they have it? Oh, I got a mount on there too. Okay, I'll make a motion to go, scratch it. Approve the work of Giffords and Webster to provide professional survey and design services for the proposed Cedar View paving SAD for a total lump sum fee of $84,432. Dave, you still want to support that?
Sure, yes.
Supported by Vincent. If we have no other discussion, can we get a roll call, please?
Vincent,
Yes.
Philbrook,
Yes,
Kraft.
Yes.
Sockowitz. Yes. DeGiorgio.
Yes.
motion carries. Okay, item 8M is still part of the same project. It says closed caption TV and of the storm sewers and cleaning if necessary for the Cedar View SAD. This is part of the original cost. It was part of the original project. The county is requiring that the storm sewers be cameraed and then they be cleaned if needed. So, and here you have the proposed. And then Giffords did the work of getting, sent out the bids, and this is the best price that they came up with. So they did all the background on.
They also gave you a suggestion for this
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. This is the red a little bit more, too.
Second from the bottom.
Motion to go ahead and authorize the supervisors to execute the Cedar View paving SAD storm sewer cleaning and televising proposal from Duke's Root Control Incorporated in the amount not to exceed $25,438.50.
Support?
Support by Vincent. No other discussion, can we get a roll call, please?
Sockowitz,
Yes.
DeGiorgio,
Yes.
Philbrook,
Yes.
Vincent,
Yes.
Kraft.
Yes.
All right, motion carries. Item 8N is set a budget workshop. Donna said, I would like Donna to be part of that, and it would make it easier for her if you could make it Tuesdays or Wednesdays, I think.
So we talked about the 3rd or 4th.
3rd or 4th of February? Is
I'm
everybody-
available the 3rd in the morning and all
Both
day
are
the
open.
4th.
Yeah, both are open for me.
Me
I'm
too.
good.
So the 3rd, morning?
3rd in the morning is good for me. I won't be able to make the afternoon. But the 4th all day as well.
I'm available both days. Yep.
You
Either-
want to do it the
either
4th,
day.
just because then Frank doesn't,
No, I'm fine
are
until
you sure?
1:30, yeah.
So 10 maybe on the 3rd?
That's fine.
So what day's that fall on Wednesday?
Tuesday, the 3rd.
Tuesday, okay.
February 3rd.
Motion, or what's the date? February 3rd
February
at
3rd.
10
10
o'clock, did
a.m.
you say?
10 a.m., yeah.
Make a motion to set the budget workshop for February 3rd at 10 a.m., 2026. Frank? Or
Yes, support. yeah.
or by DeGiorgio, Roxanne?
Vincent,
Yes.
DeGiorgio,
Yes.
Kraft,
Yes.
Philbrook,
Yes.
Sockowitz? Yes.
Motion carries. All right, thanks, guys. 8D, I'm sorry, 8O, additional hours for the accounting office. Susan?
Yes, in preparation for the audit and the auditors. Roxanne's been working more than regular hours anyway, but I would like to request an additional, what, five per week, is that what we said?
Originally,
So
we
that-
had 4 hours per week.
Yes, before, but we can go up to 5 and it won't be overtime. So
Yeah.
I'd like to make a motion to allow Roxanne to work.
So, do we have to have, up to 5 hours, does this have to be a board item?
Well, I don't know,
It just gotta be-
I was gonna ask that because
I
other
think
people.
it's more the overtime that we kind of
Right.
talked
Okay,
about.
then I won't, because I noticed over Christmas, there were several people who worked hours and didn't get them approved, so that's fine
I
with
think
me.
it's just extend it, but
Above
I think
the 40 is what you're.
up to the
thinking.
40, I
Is
think
that
if it
how you're
gets,
Okay.
yeah.
Reading it.
But I don't think we need to have a motion. We have a similar situation that's gonna happen in assessing right now. We haven't, obviously Kristen retired, and we have Carrie there, but there wasn't a lot of time to train Carrie completely. So Lisa's gonna have to be putting in some additional hours too, because Carrie doesn't know how to input all the information and record it all. And then, Mitch has gotta double check everything that's put in there, so it's very important process of the inputting all the information so it's done correctly. Because this goes down as what they're being assessed on in their properties.
So it'd be the same situation,
Well,
5 hours,
yeah,
or?
I'm not gonna exceed that for sure, yeah. So, but I'm just giving you a heads up, there's a possibility that Lisa brought it to my attention today, that there's just like no way that, and then we have, I know some other, times that she may be missing, that we're aware of. So. Okay, all right, no action on that. 8P, Susan, for
Yeah.
early voting.
This is the contract that we had before. The first copy you got in the board pack was highlighted. The second copy she sent to you had the highlights, was the final revision, but that first copy shows you the changes. For example, on the first page, our numbers all increased. We have over 1,000 more voters in our township, for example. There were other changes, were clerical. Stan is no longer the clerk, so changed it to Audrey. Just outlines who has what responsibility. This is for Ray, Bruce, and Washington. Early voting to be held at Washington Township Hall.
You guys have already had early voting over there. How much this has changed since the last time you guys did it? Not a lot, or it's pretty?
No, not a lot. I'd like to make a motion to approve the municipal joint early voting site agreement between Ray Township, Washington Charter Township, and Bruce Township as presented.
Support.
Support by DeGiorgio. Is there any other discussion? Can we get a roll call, Roxanne?
Vincent,
Yes.
Sockowitz? Yes. DeGiorgio,
Yes.
Kraft,
Yes.
Philbrook?
Yes. All right, thanks, Susan. Item AQ, our McCafferty Cemetery fence quote.
Yeah, so, the McCafferty Cemetery, the north and west, the north side and the west side has been all cyclone fence, and over the years, there were trees that grew in there. Half of them were dead. There was big, 24-inch stumps in the fence. Had a tree company go in there and clean them all out. And had, the same people came back and took all the fencing off. And so now, MEI, the owner of this company, he's a Bruce Township resident, and he installed fencing for us over at Goodrich as well as, Bruce Armada. And we kind of had an agreement that he would do the work, during the winter months to keep his guys working. The last time we used them was, for Goodrich, and I tried getting multiple quotes, but the problem is most companies there's not many companies that do the chain link fencing anymore. Most of them like to do the decorative aluminum, but the ones that do the cyclone fencing don't like to work in this time of year. MEI does, because it keeps his guys working. He gives us like a 25% break to do that. So again, he's gonna do, about 800 feet of, he's gonna repair posts, strengthen the existing pole, or straighten the existing post, replace damaged top rails, replace the damaged fitting as needed, install the new 4-foot tall black chain link fence. But once he straightens all the poles and all that stuff, myself and some volunteers are gonna go in there and paint those poles and top rails. Then he'll come in with the black fence and install it. So he's gonna do that for a price of $56.80. So I'd like to make a motion that the board approves this quote.
Support. Support by Vincent. Any other discussion? No? I will say that I've seen his work, that what he's done out there. This guy's he's done other work prior to us, or he's always.
Oh, yeah.
He's
Yeah.
always answers your calls, always,
Yeah.
like you said, you can't get anybody to even come out and even do a price on anything.
Yeah, he's probably been doing this about 15 years, and he's very efficient and nice
Yeah,
guy.
Yeah, a motion in a second. Roll call, please.
Philbrook,
Yes.
Sockowitz,
Yes.
Vincent,
Yes.
Kraft,
Yes.
DeGiorgio.
Yes.
I think the snow fence blew down, Frank.
Yeah,
so
I know,
you might-
no.
Before you get the call, you might want to tell me, go ahead and get going on it, so, all right. We'll move on to item 8R, Romeo Community Schools 2026 summer tax levy. Frank, if you want.
Yeah, so, we collect, school tax, in the summer for the Romeo schools, and make a motion that, we accept this resolution, right? Is it a resolution?
As presented, yeah.
As presented.
Support? Roll call, please.
Vincent,
Yes.
Philbrook,
Yes.
Kraft,
Yes.
Sockowitz.
Yes.
DeGiorgio.
Yes.
The next is the Macomb County Community College 2026 summer
Yeah.
tax levy.
So this is the same thing, we collect summer tax, for 2026. Make a motion, to accept the resolution as presented.
Support? There's no other discussion, can we get a roll call, please?
DeGiorgio,
Yes.
Sockowitz.
Yes.
Philbrook,
Yes.
Kraft,
Yes.
Vincent.
Yes.
The motion carries, and final,
Armada Community Schools 2026 summer tax levy, for us to collect their summer taxes. Make a motion, to accept the resolution as presented.
support? Can we get a roll call, please?
DeGiorgio,
Yes.
Kraft,
Yes.
Sockowitz.
Yes.
Vincent.
Yes.
Philbrook.
Yes, motion carries, thanks, Frank. That moves us on to final and last thing is our item 9, our communications. Chief, why don't you start us out, there, big guy? We're good. Not a word, nothing? How's the department doing? Everybody's doing well? Everybody's healthy? How about this flu season? Any issues with,
No, actually, it's been,
knock on
Okay.
wood? Okay, all right. Dave,
All good, thank you.
Susan?
I just want to let you all know that we got the Civic Plus package for our website. It took us like 6 months, several months longer than we thought. We also got the agendas and minutes portion, which was $6,000. And because we're so busy working on the website and there's stuff going on in your department and our department, Roxanne's working to get ready for the audit, we haven't done the agenda and the minutes. So I canceled that, it's $6,000. We'll revisit it, but I just wanted to let you know that we're not using it, so, I don't see us using it in the next several months, so.
Well, just-
So have they been trained on it to use it?
Yes, they got some training, but it was gonna take much more than that, so.
So we may have to do more training before you
Well,
are
it's more
ready
of
to.
just did
you
for some.
use it at the,
I mean, book. So there's other software that you can make.
Yeah, and we
We
have
might wanna
documents
look
on
at other
demand.
options where we just make the packet.
and not use the
'Cause
Civic
if you
Plus
look-
option?
If we looked at our website where the agendas and it's very organized and you can find whatever you need.
And people are used to that, too,
So
documents on demand.
it's gotta be ready for the change, if you want all that to change. There is
Do you think it would be helpful to create the minutes? I mean, I think that's kind of how it was built, that it
Most
was going to
people
be more.
Dana doesn't wanna
Streamlined.
change, so she was kinda busy and wasn't really into looking at it. And I thought what we had was very easy to get around for the residents. So just putting it on hold is probably the best thing, or canceling it.
Yeah.
But there's other software that we could look at before you make a final decision.
Okay.
We also had our audit and passed with flying colors, so, our election audit.
And then the county came here, did they end up coming in on a different day, or did they come in?
They were on Friday.
On the
came
Friday.
on Friday, it took less than an hour, we broke the record, so,
Less than an hour.
yep.
There you go.
Did they follow some of the ballots through the process? Did they have any write-ins? Used to be very thorough when they did
Yes,
those.
a team of 3 or 4, I don't remember, 3, I think. came in, yeah. It's interesting to watch.
Dorothy, what do you got?
Well, I always announce like the overtime, so, I mean, do you wanna, are we going forward then anything above the 40 hours? Or do you wanna know, because over the holidays, we did have an employee in the treasurer's office came in, planning and zoning came in for 3 hours, 2 employees.
They stayed total of 3 hours, but they stayed, it was an hour each or so, hour and a half.
Well,
each.
no, it was 3
No, it was
hours
3 hours
each.
each.
3 hours each is what they turned in and what was approved. So I'm just letting you know that we had 7 hours in the treasurer's office, 6 hours in the planning and zoning, accounting. I think, well, you were approved for the 4 additional hours. I think there was 5 hours, less than 6, additional from what was approved by the board over the holiday. So,
Yeah, I was made aware of it too, so
Okay.
it was brought to my attention.
okay.
Yeah, I apologize if I didn't say nothing, but that's been standard practice every holiday since
Yeah.
I've been here. We come in one day during that holiday to clean up everything that's in the box in the mail. My fault for not,
Then we're
Bring it up,
we're
but-
paying people to be on vacation and paying for them to be here. I wonder if we should be open one day.
well, we're
We're
not
not
paying them to
double
be
dipping.
here. I mean, yeah, you do pay them, but they have a choice either to get paid or take, what's that called, flex time? Or was it?
Comp
was it
time.
Comp time.
Information.
Is that it, Dorothy?
Yeah, I think that Susan had found something in the minutes where I'm supposed to be really looking at, like, did you have a copy of that?
Well, it's just the
Not
practice,
only-
the two-party practice that we,
It was not only the payroll or the overtime, but it was also sick time, vacation time. There was a whole thing listed.
providing backup documentation, it says, there's a two-step approval process that includes providing backup documentation for vacation hours, personal time, medical leave, training, et cetera, for all employees to be reviewed and approved by first clerk Kraft and second Treese, was Smith, trustee Smith at the time, but then when Dorothy took office, we changed it to her. So it's just a two-part follow-up kind of thing.
Okay, is there anything that needs to be looked at?
No, I'm kind of working with Donna. She was gonna
Okay.
look at timesheets and then give them to me ahead of payroll, so that I can see it prior to her actually. I usually get that information once she's done payroll. Now she's gonna get it to me before. 'Cause
And she
we
redid the
always looked
form
at it.
today, too, to
She
make it
redid a
easier,
form,
so you
right.
could see it.
We could make corrections after, so if something wasn't quite right, then we would just make the adjustment on the next payroll, but I'll get it ahead of time now.
Yeah, and that makes good
Right.
sense to have, have it just confirmed,
Right.
you know.
It's been working.
She had me look at it all before they did the payroll.
Okay, so that's what's gonna happen now, yes.
Okay. Frank, what do you got?
We have a blood drive on February 5th, I believe it is. Here at the Township Hall between 9 and 3. Other than that, that's all I got. February 5th, Thursday, February 5th.
All I have is, want to wish Chris and Robs, after 22 years of working in the assessing department, the best of luck with her retirement. It was great working with her. She's going to be missed. She was a good girl. I know one thing we will have on our agenda for our next meeting, I know Planning Commission is working on a possibility of a non-disclosure agreement regarding, again, the data centers that everybody's been looking at. It's at the Township Attorney's Office for review, and it went back to one of the members on the Planning Commission to reword it possibly a little bit. Other municipalities are doing the same thing. The moratorium wasn't really looked at as a great idea, but it seems like every municipality now has put a moratorium on a data center. We were fortunate enough to put ours in place on December 18th meeting, way ahead of everybody else, so they would just keep moving along the way we are, and should be all set, so.
So what is the, what are they putting together, a non-disclosure agreement? Because obviously, we don't have a moratorium on data centers.
Right, yeah.
So-
All applicants, actually.
All applicants for now. So what is the non-disclosure agreement about?
That we won't accept any applicant, and no applications under any of our,
Okay.
for anything that's redacted information.
With, with non-disclosure agreements.
Right.
And that, I think that's a great idea.
And technically, we should really not accept any applications with any redacted information, but it just covers us because it's been.
Sure.
Obviously, there's things that went on in Saline and Howell.
Yeah.
Where there was redacted information on the application, so.
Yeah, and then state of Michigan too, where legislators are, signed agreements and now they won't talk about.
Right, so it ain't gonna hurt us to put it in place, I mean, we have it there, I mean, so.
I like it.
Okay.
Also, we talked about having job descriptions on the agenda today, but the agenda got so full that Mike and I talked about just doing job descriptions at the
Budget hearing.
budget hearing. If that's what you guys want to do, I'll add it to that agenda.
Sounds like a great idea.
Okay.
That'll work.
If there's nothing else for this board to discuss, I'll make a motion to adjourn at 8:02 PM. Support by DeGiorgio. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thanks, everybody, for coming. Art, nice seeing you back there.